In your cup final 2-0. 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 Hello guys, it's Spurs21 here, back with another video for you. As you can tell from that, oh god, that's going to be good forever. Yes, this is my match review of Spurs against West Ham in the Premier League today, where Spurs won 2-0 at home at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and yeah, commiserations West Ham, you give it a good go, but better luck next season if you don't get relegated. So, into the game, obviously coming off the back of us drawing 1-1 against Man United on Friday night. Jose Mourinho made two changes to the side. Dele Alli, who came back from suspension, was thrown straight into the team, and Giovanni Lo Celso, who was on the bench Friday, started today. And as a result, Steven Bergwijn, who was arguably man of the match, on Friday, and Eric Lamela were both moved to the subs bench. Where again, there was no place for Tungai and Mele. That's another story for another day. The start of the game was a bit slow. From the formation, it appeared to be the same as Friday night, a 4-2-3-1, but the way that the system was played, it ended up becoming like 3-5-2, with Ben Davies joining Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez as the three centre-backs, and Moussa Sissoko is sort of the pivot of the midfield, protecting them. Lo Celso and Dele Alli further forward, with Son on the left and Sergio Aurier on the right, with Lucas up front supporting Harry Kane. Nothing was really going for the first 20 minutes of the game, 20 minutes, half an hour. It was just a lot of passing around the back, just feeling out. Hugo Lloris pulled off a decent save early on, just to prevent a good chance. We then finally took an opportunity as Lucas Mould created some space from 25 yards out. Fired a shot that was also by Fabianski. As the half grew on, we started to get more and more forward, which then resulted in a lovely pass from Lo Celso straight into Heung-min Son, who fired a shot with beautifully into the bottom corner to make it 1-0. Or so we thought, because VAR officials decided to draw the coloured lines that, frankly, a 6-year-old would learn how to operate. To be honest, it's not that impressive, and Son's goal was disallowed, so it remained 0-0 at half-time. But they didn't deter us, because in the second half it was a one-way show. The second half looked like what I envisioned Jose Mourinho's Spurs looking like. Pacey, powerful, quick on the ball, quick in attack. Lo Celso absolutely ran the game that second half in that midfield. He is the general, and going forward, this team needs to be built around him, because he is gold for us. So the chances are rolling in. Eric Dyer makes a marauding run from the back all the way through the West Ham midfield and fires a shot just over the bar. A lovely move from Sissoko. Passes out to Aurier on the right, who crosses in for Kane, who seemingly it's a golden chance. He can't get it past Fabianski. Then another lovely passing move, attack, just one-touch football, comes to Kane again, who drags it so narrowly wide. You feel the goal's getting closer and closer and closer. And finally, just after the hour mark, it does come with a little bit of fortune. Giovanni Lo Celso's corner is pretty much missed by everyone apart from Thomas Soucek, who the ball flies in off the underside of his boot into the back of his own net to make it 1-0 for Spurs. And there was some nonsense that it should have been disallowed for handball against Sanchez, but it barely scrapes it, literally just flicks off his arm like that. It doesn't change the flight of the ball. The ball still would have landed in the same place, so it's pretty much irrelevant. Unless your name is Jeremy Redknapp and you're still trying to make yourself relevant 20 years after you last were, but needs must. The game continues. We have another really good chance for Kane, who once again couldn't quite find the target. West Ham do come close with about 10 minutes to go. A free kick from the left is whipped to the back post. Brought back by Anderson to Gerard Bowen, who fires a shot against the outside of the post. But eventually, as they pile more forward and try to look for an equaliser, Eric Lamela, who came on as substitute and did very well, I thought, makes a lovely tackle, plays a 1-2 with the Sosa into Son, who on the breakaway since came through 1-on-1, and this time makes no mistake of it. Harry Kane scores to make it 2-0 and wrap up the game for us. And the huge relief in his celebration, you could tell where he just sort of threw himself to the floor and just was just breathing in and out so with such relief. Like literally 6 months he's been out. 6 months to, any football player who's been out for that sort of length of time, there's all, particularly when you're a striker, no matter how great you are, there will always be that element of doubt in your head of how long is it going to take me. And the fact that he missed a few really good ones earlier, to get that one in must have took the weight of the world off his shoulders. And he did struggle first half again today, but he grew into the game more and more. And yeah, I think that goal has done him the world of good. And that's how the game ends. The game ends at 2-0. Very, very competent. First clean sheet we've kept since Manchester City at home, which was February now. And yeah, as I said, the Jose Mourinho's vision of Spurs is slowly starting to come into play. That second half, it looks what I'm hoping it eventually will be more permanently. You look how quickly we're moving the ball and how not just in, pass, but actually moving direct and going straight from defence to attack. And you saw that especially for the second goal as well. How quickly we won the ball back, and then 5 seconds later, Harry, we're through 1-on-1 with a chance to score. That's what I want. Us to play like. That at that speed. And that's how we always should play. I think you saw for a lot of the first half, it was a bit too slow and a bit too methodical, and it just doesn't suit us. So Eric Dyer was excellent again. I did have my question marks Friday about before the game how would that position work, but again he was fantastic. Davinson Sanchez as well was very, very good. When he learns to play calm and doesn't panic and make stupid rash decisions, there's a very, very talented defender in there. We've kept 6 clean sheets I think altogether this season in the Premier League. He has played in 5 of those, and all with different partners as well, with Vertonghen, with Toby Alderweireld, and with Eric Dyer. There's a good player in there. It just needs to be brought out more consistently, and just, as I said, just without the often the silly areas that can cost us a lot. Ben Davies was solid as ever. Sergio Aurier was, good again. Mr. Sissoko did what he needed to do. Dele Alli was a bit rusty, it must be said. A lot of his flips and tricks weren't really working tonight, and but then again, I'm sure that just like Friday night, Harry Kane proved that maybe you need a game to get your legs back under you. Hopefully that's worked for him. Son was a bit isolated at times on the left, but he did grow into the game more. Lucas Moura did okay, but I think it was noticeable when Steven Bergwijn came on later how I feel of the two, Bergwijn is probably the better all-round player. He just brings more. I think I've always felt Lucas can often be better utilised as like an impact sub for us, and he's proven that a lot of times. So, but was still very good. Kane obviously grew into the game and got his goal. But yeah, the star of the show was Lo Celso. You know, it took him about half a season, but even in the few games that we saw him before, football stopped, you could see that there was a diamond of a player in there. And I do emphasise that team going forward, whatever that midfield is, he's got to be the leader of it, because he will dictate and run games and make everyone's life so much easier. And you saw how effortless he is on the ball and how easy he can dribble past people and find the space, find the perfect pass, through. So yeah, 2 games in, 2 very hard games, and we've come away with 4 points out of 6. So, there's still a lot to go this season. So, onwards and upwards. What did you guys make of the game? Who did you think really stood out for you tonight, and who maybe didn't? And what do you think we can do for the rest of the season? Leave your thoughts as ever in the comment section below. Thank you as ever, guys, for your incredible support. I can't emphasise, I'm always grateful to you. So, thank you for watching, guys. I've been BenSmith21. I'll see you soon, and as always, come on you Spurs!